Welcome back from politics. Now we talk about matters affordable housing. Welcome. My name is Mike Migu. Now, affordable housing is one of the core projects that the Kenya Kwanza government promised Kenyans, and they are doing everything they can to deliver on it. The idea was to build 1 million houses by 2027. So what is the progress so far? In studio, I'm joined by Ms. Sheila Waweru, who is the acting CEO, Affordable Housing Board. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Mike. Thanks for having me.
Karibu sana. Affordable housing. The idea was to build 1 million houses by 2027 and deliver 200,000 houses per year. What is the progress?
There's been quite a lot that has been done so far in regards to the program. Right now we have over 130,000 units which are ongoing, and an equal number which is under procurement through the various implementing agencies. So we feel we are on track. It will be, it will be fast-tracked over the years that are coming. But with the levy right now supporting the development, we feel we are on track to deliver the 1,000 units by 2027. Yes. All
right. Remember, you can be part of this conversation by sending us your SMS or rather WhatsApp message via 0716 10 33 01. 0716 10 33 01. Now, let's look at the ownership now process. Everybody, anyone who wants to own a house through this program.
Yes.
What is the process of ownership?
Thank you for asking me that, Mike, because it's one of the messages that we are trying to push out here. Kenyans have seen that right now the houses are going up all across the country, and the key interest is on how do I get a house as an interested Kenyan. So the entire application process and the allocation process is on Boma Yangu portal, which is housed on eCitizen. Remember, all government services have been onboarded onto eCitizen. So a Kenyan should go to www.bomayangu.go.ke or dial *832# to be able to get onto the portal. Once you're on the portal, you're able to see all the projects that are being done across the country, those ones that have started. And then with that, you're able to select one, whichever area, whichever county in the country that you'd like a house, okay? And the houses are open to all Kenyans, irrespective of how much you're running. So once you get onto the portal, there are 3 categories that we look at in terms of income brackets. So there is the social category, which is for persons earning below 20,000 Kenya shillings per month. There is the affordable housing, which they're all affordable, but there is the bracket called affordable housing for persons earning between 20,000 and 149,000. And then we have, for persons who are earning above 149,000, there is affordable middle class. So once you get onto the portal, you're able to, one, fill your information, you know, your ID, your living situation, your income, which will be verified. So it's important to also ensure that you provide the actual income. And that way, through the portal, you're able to see which houses are available to you in line with your income bracket. So once you see that, you can start saving because you've already made the commitment you want a home. And these homes are to be paid for eventually. So start paying, you can start paying immediately through the same Boma Yangu portal. It has various payment options through M-Pesa, through bank accounts, you know, it gives you various options. So you can start off on that. And then you're able to select a specific unit which you're interested in, you know. You can say, I want Kikuyu AHP. And in Kikuyu AHP, I want a 2-bedroom, because once you've put in your information, the system enables you to see those houses that are available to you based on your income. So then you select the unit that you prefer. With that, you can tell how much a 10% deposit would amount to. So if, let's say, you want a 2-bedroom house and it's 2 million shillings, of course, that's 200,000 Kenya shillings. So then you pay, you top up your savings all the way to 200,000 Kenya shillings, because it's a requirement, and this is within the Act, that you do need to have a 10% deposit to the house. And your 10% deposit can be either through the amount you've saved on the Boma Yangu portal. You can have approached a financial institution which is willing to guarantee you the 10%, so you have a bank guarantee for the 10% deposit. And for those ones who are in the social category, because we understand they need more cushioning, they can apply for deposit assistance, which is something also prescribed within our regulations. And this way you apply to the board to get a 10% deposit, which will still be payable over, the 30 years period that you're given as part of the cost of the unit. But you do get that 10% deposit paid for you by the board or lent to you by the board. So once you've attained your 10% deposit, then you can be able to fill an application form for allocation of the unit. So within the application form, of course, there are various questions that will enable the board assess you for one, that you are able to get the unit, you are able to pay for the unit, and it helps us also in terms of determining where there is an oversubscription compared to the number of units available, then what is the order of that allocation, okay? And that goes in line with who probably came onto the portal first. If you're all eligible, let's say you're 200 of you and the units are 150, you have to get 150 out of the total 200 persons. So then at that point, you're able to look at the timestamp of who came onto the portal, who applied first, who made that deposit first, and that enables you to shortlist. So once you filled this application form, then upon submission of the form, we have bank institutions financial institutions, banks that we have partnered with, who are helping us to make assessments of those application forms. And the reason for doing this is that we want financial institutions to come on board and help us in providing affordable financing, home financing to Kenyans. Remember our housing units, we are providing home financing at very affordable rates. So for the social category, it's at 3%. For the affordable housing, it's at 6%, and for affordable mid-class is at 9%, which are normally rates below the normal market price, okay? If you go out here, you're getting mortgages at 18%, 20%. But being the affordable housing program, and our key goal is to ensure that Kenyans are able to afford homes, then we have ensured that we put the interest rates at way below market price. And the tenure is even longer, it's 30 years. So that many, many Kenyans are able to access homes and to be able to, for us to raise mortgages from 30,000 to 1 million mortgages over the 5 years. So once the banks are able to, they're able to come onto the platform, they're able to assess the application forms, they're able to identify Kenyans who that they can approach with the affordable financing options. And then from there, because there are 3 ways of owning these homes. You can come and pay through cash, outright cash purchase. You can come through for home financing through the institutions that we have, or you can also feel free and approach an institution of your preference. And then the third option is through tenant purchase scheme, whereby you come and put in your 10% deposit, and then the rest, the cost of the house is amortized over a 30-year period. So with those 3 options, and which is something you still indicate in your application form, then we are able to assess, and from that we're able to see who then has been successful through the allocation process. The allocation process is very fair and transparent. It's fully automated, still on the Boma Yangu portal. And therefore, we are able to get results of then who are successful, who can get homes. And from that, then we're able to offer you an offer letter. So upon acceptance, then we follow through to complete the sale. Yes, and offer you an agreement. What is the uptake, or how many people have applied for this housing so far? I may not have the exact number offhand, because we put out a huge number of projects out, a total of 4,888 units, and they are spread over the country, over about 17 or 18 projects. So I don't have those offhand. But also we've realized quite a trend of 2 and 3 bedrooms. Most of them are actually oversubscribed, you know. So there's quite a huge interest. And we are still calling out to Kenyans, because it's not just the 4,888. The 4,888 units are those that we have projected for completion by June. But there are more projects that are going on across the country, and even those ones are on the Boma Yangu portal. So someone is still able to get onto the portal and select even those ones that are not part of the 488, because we anticipate completion of projects as we continue. You know, they've all started at different times, but this was the first batch of a huge allocation that we wanted to undertake, the first major one. And moving on, it will be a continuous process of allocation. So that shouldn't hold Kenyans back. They should be able to get on board, just go to the Boma Yangu portal, look at the projects that are on the site, and then apply for a unit. Yes.
Matters allocation of these houses. How many units can one own?
You can only own one unit. So in terms of eligibility for a home, as a Kenyan comes on to the portal, you can own a home if you're a Kenyan, of course, who has attained 18 years and therefore you have an ID. You must have a valid, you must have a KRA PIN and a valid TCC. Because remember, these houses are being built through the levy. Okay, so and everyone is eligible for a house as long as you're meeting those conditions. So it's only fair that if you're meeting those conditions and you're a taxpayer, then you can be able to access a home. Okay, so once you have those, and of course the TCC ensures or assures that you also pay of the levy. And the levy is being paid by everyone who has an income, whether salaried or non-salaried, then you can come on board and apply for a home. Okay, and once you apply, your ID is blacked out from the system, such that it's only one person who can access, one ID, one home. You can only access or benefit from the program once.
What happens to, let's say, a couple? I have an ID as the husband, the wife has an ID as a wife. So I get a unit.
Yes.
Is my wife eligible to get a unit?
She's a Kenyan with an ID. Yes, she does.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, you've said also that there's an uptick or the oversubscription to 2 and 3 bedroom units. Is that going to inform future projects on affordable housing? Yes,
we are using the data or the patterns that we are noticing from this first number of units that we are putting out for sale to help us in terms of our designs, improvement, and also just looking at what is in demand. You know, you might now moving forward be able to do more 2 and 3 bedrooms, maybe a lesser, because there's a mix that we usually look at, whereby you have, let's say, like studios. Maybe you have social housing, about 20%. We have affordable 50%, and we have others we're calling market at 30%. So what the findings we have from this sales process and the interest that is expressed by Kenyans will definitely help us in terms of realigning our design principles.
Is there a role for the county governments in all this?
Yes. Quite a number of the projects that we're implementing right now, they are being done on county government land, okay? So all projects right now are on county or national government land. And remember, county also are owners of quite a number of acres or parcels of land across the country. So most of those, quite a number of the projects that we're undertaking are on county government land. Remember, they're still the ones who will give approvals for the projects and so on. They are key partner. And at the same time, they're also one of the implementing agencies under the Act for this program. So they are huge players in this. And then there's also county affordable housing committees, which were established by the Act and have been set up within the counties to just help in terms of supporting this program in terms of its implementation. So the county is playing quite a huge role in terms of implementation of the affordable housing program.
Is there a way that the applicants can get more information to begin now the application process?
Yes, we are carrying out quite a number of drives across the country and a lot of communication initiatives. Especially starting from next week, we'll have drives across the 488 units, the counties where they are in, and I'll be able to talk about that slightly later. But at the same time, we do have communication lines that members of the public can be able to reach us where they're having or facing any difficulties. We have inquiries at bomayangu.go.ke. As an email, we do have 0700 382 382 and 0739 832 832 and 0700 832 832 as numbers that they can call. At the same time, we're also partnering with Huduma Kenya. We do have Huduma Kenya desks that are fully for affordable housing program support across 57 of their centers. So where you're having challenges, you can walk to a Huduma center that is near you for that information, or you can reach the numbers that I've just mentioned, or write us an email.
Yes.
Yes.
So Kenyans should not be prey to people who come and say, I can help you get affordable housing.
No.
They should go through the portal?
Through the portal. Everything around allocation and application for a unit is on the portal, bomayangu.go.ke. So where you have any Kenyan coming and promising you they'll help you or anything of that sort to get a house, please do not engage.
Yes.
Yes.
Some people can be crafty and take advantage of this.
Yes.
Indeed.
Yes.
Remember that you can be part of this conversation by sending us your SMS, WhatsApp message. That is on 0716 10 3301, 0716 10 3301, and sure we will sample some of your comments and question as the show progresses. Let's talk about the sensitization drive. What is the goal of this drive?
So the goal of the drive, remember I told you we have some units we've put out for sale. We have realized, some units have more interest than others. Of course, as I've mentioned, 2-3 bedrooms. But the units that are out there for sale include studios. There are 1 beds, there are 2 beds, there are 3 bedrooms of different sizes, and they're across the entire country. They're across 17 or 18 counties. And the main goal is just to be able to rally more interest into these projects and to be able to give clearer information regarding how to access, how to apply. We've also realized as we are progressing is that some Kenyans think that by declaring maybe less income, you're at a better place of, getting a house. Or if you declare more than you actually earn, then you're at a better place. So just being out there is, the main purpose is to be able to give information and to guide Kenyans on ensuring that they do proper applications, to know where these projects are, to know the finer details regarding the projects, what are the sizes of the units, how much are they going for. We also plan to have open days in all those projects. You're able to come in, you're able to walk around, visit the site houses, the show houses, and therefore it just enables Kenyans to actually get in. Something that you're seeing, you're able to believe better. You may know that, yes, I'm in Murang'a, there is a project here called Mackenzie. But you're seeing it from external. Here we're giving you an opportunity to walk in, see how the house looks like, how the rooms are sized, what amenities are there. All our houses, of course, will be connected to power, water. They have Wi-Fi. Some of them have gas reticulation. We plan all of them to have gas reticulation over time. Just being able to see this and how, probably the blocks, how they are spaced. You're able to see the green areas where your kids would be. What other facilities are there? Are there ECD centers? Are there health facilities? Some have some social facilities, could be gyms, could be a health club. Some of them have swimming pools, So just getting that opportunity to see will be an eye-opener for Kenyans. So that is the main purpose, and we'll be going around the country. We are starting with Central and Eastern next week, and then we progress to the other counties.
Maybe it would be also best to touch on eligibility once again.
Okay.
Yes.
So when you talk about eligibility, you must be a Kenyan, 18 years of age, and therefore above 18.
Yes.
And therefore you have a Kenyan ID. You must have a KRA PIN, and you must have a valid TCC. Okay, so all that information will be part of the application form that you fill for allocation of a unit, including additional information of your living conditions. You know, I mentioned about your income. You indicate if you're living with any disabilities, which helps us in terms of allocation of a unit that is more suitable for you, and more data that will be asked within the application form. But once you have that, then you're eligible.
Yes.
And as I mentioned, you can apply as long as you're a Kenyan with some income.
Yes.
There are the 3 categories that you can apply for a house in line with those categories, you know. So initially people thought that, oh, if I'm earning above 150,000, I cannot be able to access a house. Or if I'm earning below 20, I cannot be able to access a house. But that's a fallacy. Everybody can be able to access a house.
But also your income determines the kind of a house you will get?
Yes, because when you talk about social category, we have persons who are earning below 20,000.
Yeah.
Remember, even normally as you go to look for a house, your income determines, because ideally you should have about 30% of your income available for housing.
Yeah.
So that will determine the kind of a house that is available to you, you know. And we ensure that people are applying within their income brackets so that there isn't unfair competition within those categories, you know. Have someone who's earning 150, but they want a bed sitter that they can be able to rent out for business or something of that sort. Yet there's someone who's earning 20 and cannot afford any of the houses, I mean, of the other categories. They can only afford within the social category. Yet you've come and taken up that opportunity from them. So that's why we ensure that people are able to apply for houses just within their category, income category.
And that will enhance transparency and fairness of the program? Yes,
it will, because everything, as I mentioned, is automated. Everything is happening on the portal, right from registration all the way to allocation. Even the offer letter, you still get it off from the portal, so that it's a fully open, transparent, and auditable, you know, process.
All right. Now, for this sensitization drive, what specific counties are you targeting?
Okay. Yes. Allow me to just mention them. As I mentioned, we'll start from Central and Eastern. That is next week. We'll be covering this. We'll be covering these counties week by week. I mean, the various regions.
Yes.
So, just a minute. So we do have Central and Eastern region. We'll be covering Kirinyaga County, Murang'a, Nyandarua, Embu, Machakos, and Laikipia next week from 14th to 18th. And followed by Nyanza Circuit, where we'll cover Homa Bay and Migori. We have projects among the 488. Then we'll follow with Nakuru, Bomet, Nandi, and Uasin Gishu. That is from 28th April to 3rd May. And all these activations will have week-long activations and an open day where Kenyans are able to get into the projects and see these houses. And then we'll follow with the Western Circuit from 5th May to 10th May. That's Kakamega and Vihiga. The Northern and Upper Eastern Circuit, we have Isiolo and Wajir, and then we come back to the Nairobi Metropolitan. Here is Kiambu and Machakos, where we have ongoing projects. Yes.
What type of housing units are available in those areas, especially in areas that you have mentioned in Central and Eastern regions?
Okay. So for all the projects, and these are the projects that we are targeting to complete by June of 2025, these are the ones that I have mentioned. All projects, and even those ones are beyond these 4,888, we do have, the houses have studios. They have 1 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms, and 3 bedrooms of various sizes. So studios mostly around 20 square meters. We have 1 bedrooms of 40 square meters, 2 bedrooms of 60 square meters, and 3 bedrooms of 80 square meters. And the affordable housing program has standardized its design and build principles. So you'll find that where we have in each site houses or the housing units come in blocks. So you have block 1 and the first block would have social and affordable housing. The second one has affordable and affordable middle class. But they all have studios. They have 1 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms, and 3 bedrooms. And you'll find our studios, all of them have very low cost compared to what is within the market. So you'll find the studios begin at 640,000. You'll have our 1 bedrooms around 1.5 million. 2 bedrooms around 2 million, and 3 bedrooms around 3 million. So if you look at those rates and what is in the market, they are quite affordable.
And the payment period?
So the payment period, I mentioned that there are 3 ways of owning these houses. You can come on cash, through cash purchase. You can get affordable home financing for the same at 3%, 6%, and 9%. And this is over a tenure of 30 years. Or you can come through tenant purchase scheme, which is also over 30 years. Yes.
All right. So now, how are you enhancing this outreach to make sure that more people get on board and also they get to know how to go about it? Yes.
So we have launched various initiatives, and we are still continuing to do the same. Because remember, this program has been ongoing, but majorly around construction. This is the first time we are undertaking allocation, and people have not known about now the process. So we have been, and over time, probably you've also received some, we've been having some SMS blasts out to Kenyans, just to be able to inform you that there are these projects, log on, this is how you get onto bomayangu.co.ke. These are the numbers that we communicate through. We do have, as I've mentioned, we have ground activations and open days that we have been undertaking and continue to do so.
Yes.
We've also been going, of course, working with the media closely, just to be able to get the various stories and information out. As you've seen, we've also covered quite a number of stories on how Kenyans have benefited just beyond home ownership. There are other aspects of the program, including, jobs, including stimulation of the economy, people who have benefited either by owning homes through the previous program. We've also covered people who are anticipating to own homes and how this home ownership will be able to get them, good opportunities, homes that they can afford, accessibility if they're persons with disability, and so on. And we continue to also still continue engaging with the media to help us in doing the same. Drives, as I've mentioned, ground activations and the open days.
Mtu anauliza kama hizo nyumba zitakuwa na maji ya borehole ama maji itakuwa inalipiwa.
Najua hata maji ya borehole tunalipianga pia. So all our projects are being connected. One, where there is trunk facilities, like trunk sewer, water through the various water agencies, of course Kenya Power for electricity and so on. We connect to the existing infrastructure. And where that lacks, because you find like some of the areas that we are building, sometimes they don't have the trunk infrastructure in place, then we undertake development. They are part of our design. So if there is no sewer, we're able to do septic tanks. If there is no water, we're able to do boreholes. But of course, all that will be metered and will be paid for. Yes.
Now, after central and eastern regions, what other areas are you targeting in the next sensitization drive for this allocation?
As I've mentioned, we'll go through all the regions. We shall go through eastern region. We have Nyanza region, Rift Valley. We have western. We have northern and upper eastern. And then eventually we'll come back to what we call the Nairobi metropolitan area. Yes.
Let's finish with this. Is the housing, affordable housing, the magic wand to solve the Kenya's housing problem?
I feel to a very large percentage, yes. Remember, housing is a right, constitutional right. So it is the responsibility of government to enable Kenyans to have homes, yes. And the right has been there for quite some time. The Constitution came to be in 2010. But this is the first time that this program has really picked up to be able to achieve this, and to be able to achieve 1 million homes where we haven't been doing so over 5 years, it's quite a major feat. And we have found the right mix in terms of financing, in terms of the expertise that is there in the built environment, in terms of the lessons from countries that have done this before. So I feel this is it is the magic wand to be able to deliver this to Kenyans and to be able to set a precedence even moving forward in terms of delivery of homes and this right to Kenyans.
Yes. Now let's go back to those numbers. You can give them once again so that Kenyans are aware of where to look for.
So you can call 0700-832-832 or you can call 0739-832-832 or you can email us on enquiries@bomayangu.go.ke. Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
for making time to come and talk about this affordable housing program.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, karibu sana. That is Ms. Sheila Waweru, who is the CEO of Affordable Housing Board, talking to us about the allocation of the housing project and the sensitization that is coming up in Central and Eastern region. This is where we end this conversation. But don't go too far. Good morning, Kenya continues shortly with Vivian Ndegwa, and the question of the day is, would you marry someone who loves you or someone that you love? That is a conversation that is coming up next in just a few. Stay with us. Kenya's real estate market is evolving, with over 77% of rental properties being flats and apartments and an impressive 88.8% occupancy rate. The demand for housing has never been higher. But what's driving these trends? And how do regional disparities shape rental prices and investment opportunities?
I think a lot has brought growth into the Kenyan real estate sector over the past few years. I think there's been steady growth since 2016. 2016 was, I think, the year when there was the best performance in the real estate sector. A lot of this has been brought by infrastructural development. The government has been willing to spend on roads and power and water. These things, of course, make it for a very suitable market for real estate to grow as well, because it's very hard to come up with something where there's no access to it. You see, the Kenyan market is designed in such a way that the Chinese are here, the Turkish are here, they're developing, European countries are here. I think some of our infrastructural projects are even funded by Spain. So the ease of accessing the Kenyan market, even Arab markets are here, and also the ease of finance that has been there for quite some while.
According to the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics Real Estate Survey of 2023-2024, flats and apartments now dominate Kenya's rental market, making up 77.1% of all properties. In Nairobi, this trend is even more pronounced, with 66.7% of all rentals being apartments. But why?
I think it's because of the demographics of the Kenyan population. The census that was done most recently showed that most of us are youth. Even here, most of us are the youth. So we have our families, they are growing. So you want to bring up your family in a comfortable unit. The most comfortable unit for that is a 3-bedroom, because it allows you to have the master bedroom, it allows you to have the kids' bedroom and a spare bedroom, maybe for visitors, the house manager, and everyone else. I think also the growth of the 3-bedroom units, has been around the suburbs, where we are having master planned estates coming up. So with that master planning, when you do a survey before, as a developer, when you do a survey and you see where there is a gap, then you see there's a gap in the 3-bedroom where you want to cater for a family. And you'll see that also for a family, when I'm buying a unit for my family, I'm willing to also get a mortgage for it. So with the growth of the KMRC sector, the Kenya Mortgaging Refinancing Institution, and the circles giving these mortgage loans, then it's a sweet blend where the 3-bedroom is very affordable and marketable and also very attractive because we are a young population. We want something we can have our family growing comfortably, and there is finance that you can access for that.
Despite high rental costs, demand remains strong. For instance, in 2023, 88.8% of rental properties were leased, a clear indicator of Kenya's housing shortage.
I think it's a broad issue. First of all, I would start with the way the market started. A lot of what is done in the residential market is off-plan sales. And there's been a lot of fraudulent activities. So people are hesitant to invest before you see the unit, yeah? So you'll hold your breath, you'll see there's maybe a development coming somewhere, then you'll tell yourself, let me come next month to see whether they've grown and to see whether they've delivered. I can also say that because of the impact 2024 has had on our pockets as Kenyans, I know there was a report done that said that Kenyans are willing to spend more on a smaller unit so long as it's affordable and like gives them access to amenities, closer access to work, such that they just want the unit in a place that's accessible than where they can get, like maybe you travel longer to get to your 3-bedroom unit.
Not all rentals cost the same. A 1-bedroom bungalow rents for as low as 15,000 shillings, while a 4-bedroom bungalow can go as high as 170,000 shillings. Townhouses in particular attract premium prices of up to 120,000 for a 2-bedroom unit.
For the buyer, it's more than just the unit. So even though they are buying it for investment and not even to live in, they will then check, where is this I'm buying? Let's say if I'm a buyer and I want to buy a unit for an Airbnb. So if it's like a 2-bedroom, I want it closest to the market I'm targeting. So I'll go closer to the market than further away. So maybe if there's a 2-bedroom that's bigger, but it's further away from the market I'm targeting, I will still angle towards the one that's closer, just because it brings people easily to your apartment, you know. So there are a lot of factors that people consider. And when you're looking at something like a 3-bedroom unit, it's a family unit. It's wholly a family unit. You don't buy a 3-bedroom unit then use it as an Airbnb. It's very complicated to do that because of even the space, yeah? So it's something someone has to make an emotional decision about. And when they're making that emotional decision, they have to consider their family, their work, everything has to be considered, and overall the affordability of the unit, yeah?
For investors, rental yields matter. Bedsitters and studio apartments record the lowest yield at just 2.2%, while 2-bedroom townhouses lead with 8.3%. With economic trends, demographic shifts, and regional disparities shaping the market, what does the future hold?
The real estate sector is a good opportunity for growth, either as a developer or an investor. And I think it's something that even the young people should be willing to pick up. You can start as small as with a studio. So it's something that I think it's a sector that's growing, and because it's a basic need, housing is a basic need at the end of the day. You can't live without a house. So it offers many opportunities, whichever angle you want to come in from. You want to be a property manager, there's a lot to manage. You want to be a developer, there are so many ways of being a developer nowadays. You can even just buy stake into a development company and be a developer yourself.
From high-rise apartments to luxurious townhouses, Kenya's rental landscape continues to evolve. For tenants, landlords, and investors, understanding these changes is the key to making informed decisions in an ever-growing market.